We've got Matt Walsh with us now, host of the Matt Walsh Show. Mr. Walsh, good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Buck.
So what are your first thoughts when you see that now parents are being told to consider whether they simply have white privilege, engage in white voyeurism, or are straight up white supremacists and don't even know it?
Yeah, it's explicit, in-your-face racism. If this doesn't qualify as racism, then the word simply has no meaning whatsoever anymore. And all you have to do, I think any rational person sees that it's racism. Only unfortunately, there's a dwindling supply of rational people out there. But if you have trouble seeing it, then just imagine, take white out of. You look at that dial with all the different colors, and take white out of it and put any other race there, and how would it look to you? It would look racist because it is. And that's why we got to get to a point where lawsuits are being filed. This is racial discrimination. It's race-based harassment. It happens in the schools. It happens in the workplace, where you're singling out a certain race of people, and which you can't do that, period. But not only are you singling out a race of people, but you're telling them about themselves. You're putting all of these negative labels on them, and it's someone's got to step up to the plate and file the lawsuit. That's what has to happen.
What do you think the left is hoping to achieve by mandating what is essentially critical race theory or intersectionality, the different ways of describing this same kind of identity politics indoctrination? What do you think, Matt, the left believes they can achieve or are achieving by not only brainwashing kids with this stuff, but also their parents now, as we see, are trying to, and in federal institutions and in government buildings now, this is becoming more commonplace? What's the point?
It's all part of course, their social engineering leading up to their Marxist utopia they hope to build. And you start in the schools. You start at very young ages. This might be something they were sending to the parents, but think about what they're telling the kids in that school. If this is what they're saying to the parents. And so you start at the youngest ages possible. You start in elementary school with critical race theory. And that's when kids they have no psychological defense at all. They're completely vulnerable. They can't sift out and differentiate between propaganda and truth. They have no. Most adults can't even do that. Kids are helpless. And so that's you start there. And what ends up happening, I think the real trend here is it's about instilling self-loathing into people, especially kids. And not just race-based. I mean, it's racial. So, if you're white, you have to hate your whiteness, reject your whiteness. But also, if you're a boy, you have to hate and reject your masculinity. If you're a girl, then you should reject, and you find traditional femininity appealing. Maybe you're more excited about being a mother and a wife than a businesswoman. Well, no, that's bad. You have to reject that. Hate your country. All of your ancestors that came before you, they're all a bunch of bigots. You should hate them too. So that's what it is. It's instilling this real self-loathing into the population. And then we wonder why kids are depressed and killing themselves and on drugs. I mean, this has a lot to do with it.